Today, we're going to try to build the tallest house possible in The Sims 4. And I know this is going to be a dumb idea, it's going to be a silly idea, but I'm here, I'm ready. So let's start, shall we? We freaking shall. So, first of all, what are we going to do first of all? I mean, this house is going to be tall, of course, but we also got to make an optical illusion of it being tall. Taller. So what are we going to do for that? I mean, first point of action, I'm going to make a teeny tiny little house, because if the house is big, it's not going to look as tall. So we're going to make it tiny, sort of like so. And then I'm also going to put on the tall wall height, and then also stack the rooms on top of each other, all the way up to the 4th floor, and that is all the floors that we can have. And that is still a pretty short house. What can we do to make this house taller? I need it to be tall. Maybe, what if we make a basement? And we're gonna make so many basements. Just basement on basements. And what we can do then, with that many basements, is to make a big old basement that goes from all the corners of this lot, just like so. And then we're gonna take away the roof of this basement, and then we get a big old hole like this. And our original basement is lost, but don't you worry, I'm gonna put it up again. And I'm gonna do that with all the basements. You watch me. And that is a tall house, isn't it? It indeed is. But can we make this house even taller? That is my question. I mean, what if we take the foundation of this house and then just drag it up there all the way to high heaven? And oh, that is very high up there. Can we do it even more? Oh my gosh, yes we can. All right, that is the limit. We can barely see the top of the house anymore. Oh, it's gonna be so laggy. I can already feel it. But the icing on the cake, we can add a really tall and spiky roof. If I can even click on the arrow. There we go. Boom, bam, bam. What a journey we were on. We have so many floors, and maybe we can make the basement have tall walls as well. Oh my gosh, yes. This is such a tall build. This is ridiculous. Look at our house in a hole. Whoa, what did I do? Okay, I gotta stop this. This is, go back, Nora. No. You're playing with fire right now. You're gonna crash out the game. But okay, disaster averted. Maybe now we can get to decorating this house. And what am I feeling today? Maybe I'm feeling a little bit of a castle estate vibe. And we can put up some stone walls with some gradient vibes. Well, not vibes. We are gonna do it. I mean, oh my goodness me. This is ridiculous. Well, alright. It's been some time later, and a problem has occurred. I logged in and out of the game because it was kind of lagging, so I thought, why not restart it? And when I came back again, the basement was gone. And I tried to remake the basements, but now I can only get to this level of basements. If I try to remove the roof or the flooring, this happens. So we are just gonna have this level now. Just 2 basement levels. RIP the other 2 basements, but that's how it's gonna go. That's how we roll today. I'm sorry, but that happened. But I think to make up for that, we are gonna make the roof even taller. And how we're gonna do that? Well, we're gonna put up the barn turret. And that is a kind of a weird thing to say as a Norwegian, because barn in Norwegian means children. But anywho's gonna put it up there. And I'm also gonna size it up a little bit with tool mod. And boom, bam, bam. It's gonna be like so. Oh my gosh, that is ridiculous. Okay. But we're not done yet, because on top of that, we're gonna put up this spiky thing, size it up a little bit, and it's gonna become like so. Oh my gosh, that is ridiculous. That is, I mean, that's kind of ugly, isn't it? And how does this look from the bottom floor, by the way? Okay, we're not really on the bottom floor because it doesn't let me do that, but here we are. And that looks weird. Oh! Where am I? Wait, I'm so... Oh. Hello? This has never happened to me before. Is this a new thing? Is this a mod? How far can I go? Oh my gosh, look at this, people. The earth is flat. Where am I? That was a scary moment. Okay, I'm glad we're back down there. Right, what else can we do for this roof? Maybe we can put up some dormers and forget about the things we just saw. And then, oh, you know what else we need to figure out? We need to figure out what are we going to do about them staircases. Where are we going to have them? Maybe in the basement. Let's do the basement first, you guys. In the basement, we're just going to have the staircase on the inside, because we don't care that much about the basements, come on. But the staircase is on the outside. Where can we have that? For real, where can we have that? I mean, so for this floor, let's do the layout first to figure out where the staircase is going to be. And I think here we could have some bedrooms, some teeny tiny ones, and also a bathroom maybe. So that means that the staircase needs to be here. I see. So let's take this staircase in the L shape and put it up there. Maybe that can work. But no, that's not where I wanted to end up. Go back down. Just like so. Okay, that's good enough for us. And then for the next staircase, where is that going to be? Oh, that's right. We have this huge old foundation between the floors. Okay, well, what are we going to do then? We have this staircase right here. Where am I going to put that? That doesn't want to... What does that mean? I got an error message. You can't? I want my staircase to be there. Well, alright, it's a little while later, and the staircase does not want to go up to that floor. So, what are we going to do then? I think what we're going to do then is put up a very tall ladder, and that looks ridiculous. Okay, I see how it is. I mean, that is ridiculous. Okay, and let's make a little bump out in here. And we can have another ladder up to the other floor. I mean, okay. I mean, goodness me, how can you make this better? What if we put up some more ladders to distract you? Will it be better then? I mean, yeah, I'm gonna say it does. But onto our other staircases, I'm gonna plop one up right there. And then the last one, that's gonna be right in there. Beautiful. Look at that ugly tower. Gee, I need to hide up some stuff. I really do. Because in the foundation part, we can't really put up any windows and stuff like that. So I gotta hide it all up. And how am I gonna hide it all up? Oh, with some vines. That's what I'm gonna do. And it's gonna be a wonderful, wonderful time. And unfortunately, I can't make it too detailed because I have to be out here. You see, if I get closer to the tower is gonna pop me off. All right, it is. So unfortunately, I can't see much, but I'm gonna do the best that I can with my vines. But gooly gosh, here are my vines. And I'm so glad that I did it. It took a long time, but I'm so glad that I did it because it looks a lot better now. I hit up all of the ugliness of this tower. Well, not all of it, but most of it. And now to our next big old question. What are we going to do about the terraining? Because we can't put up any terrain paint because the grass is floating. So that doesn't work. So we got to keep that in mind. And let's begin with the pathways first. So I think maybe instead of terrain paint, we can put up some rocks, some floating rocks, and also some pathing stones. This staircase right here. I think that would be lovely. And it was also indeed lovely. And we also do need a lot of landscaping to hide up our ugly walls around this whole lot. Ooh, that's going to be a disaster and a half, that is. But I think before we do that, we need to figure out the vibe of this place. Why is it a big old, long old tower in the middle of a hall? That is a great question. And I don't think that I have the answer to that question. But what I do have an answer to is that we're going to make this tower, an abandoned tower that has been overtaken by nature. A little bit. It's not going to be super overgrown, but a little bit overgrown. I think that can be the vibe. An abandoned tower taken over by nature, coming to a theater near you. Oh, great. That is the vibes and the theme and the mood. Now we've gotten that out of the way, and that means that we got to begin with this landscaping. And what do I think today? What do I think? Maybe I want a moat, because every great castle has a moat. And since we're doing the castle style for this tower, we should have a moat. And we unfortunately can't use the pond tool, but we can do is put up a pool around our great old tower and, try and make it look like a moat. And right now it looks more like a pool, but what we can do, one thing, okay, hear me out. I really want to do it because when else am I going to use this flooring? But I'm going to put up this vine flooring, and how does that look? Amazing. Wonderful. Let's put in some pool water, and that is a grimy old mess. Right, I think I'm also going to round up the edges and put in another pool trimming. I think that would be a lot better. And that was a lot better, actually, yeah, now that I think about it. And to make this moat even more moaty, we're going to put some plants and rocks around our good old moat. But before we do that, we need to figure out our staircase situation because I'm kind of worried about that. Not going to lie, I kind of am. So how will it look if I just put up a staircase right there? Yeah, that looks ridiculous, just as I thought. Great. All right, what can we do to fix this? What if I take it in a little bit and take it out and take it in again, do some shenanigans? Oh, this is awful, but it could be good because if you put some rocks around it and make it look one with nature, I think it could look cool, question mark, but I'm not quite sure. So I'm gonna leave that be and come back to it, I do think. Yeah. I'm just gonna leave that mess and I'm gonna figure out another mess. And that mess is to put some framing around this pathway because right now it looks kind of lonely. And I think we can use this stuff from Get Together, the old ruins, because that will frame it in all neat nicely, won't it? And I think it does, yeah. I'm kind of happy about that. But right, now back to our moat. Good old moat. What are we gonna do to make this less of a pool and more of a moat? I'm gonna put in some rocks, both on the bottom and also on the top. And then I'm also gonna put in some plants and stuff. And oh, that is right. We can't use any terrain paint. What can we use instead? Because terrain paint is a big deal when it comes to the planting. What can we use instead? Oh, maybe we can use these dirt patches. Could that be good? Oh, yeah, you know what? That looks good. I'm gonna use that. That was a good solution, Nora. Clap yourself on the back. Or on the shoulder, I guess. Oh, I hit the microphone. I'm so sorry. But anyways, I'm gonna put up my rocks and my plants around our good old moat. And I'm gonna do that all by my lonesome. Think about that, people. Not in the spare time putting up rocks in a video game all by herself. That is the thinker of today. But boobity bobbity bum, here is my moat. I do like it. It looks cool. It looks good. It's very square, but also very round. Mysteries of time. I am happy about that moat. It's very overgrown. Catches the vibe of the fields. What? Okay. But anyways, now to the biggest disaster of all. what are we gonna do with the landscaping around these walls? Because we got some tall walls and we gotta hide them up with our rocks. And I don't want these rocks to creep into the tower. I want it to kind of go straight down to not take the focus away from the tower. So, you know, I'm gonna use my good old rocks, but I also need to find some other rocks that are better for this. So what about this one? That has some good height to it. I think I can use that. And what about this corner over here? Because I want the corners to be round, not a square. What is a good rock for that? Maybe this one? You know what? Yeah, that is a good old corner rock. I made me choice. I'm gonna use that one. And then for the plants, maybe we can put up some vines to make it a little bit jungly, and some other leafy plants like that one, and some other plants too. And I'm gonna make my moment, a good old rock moment. Oh, and by the way, yesterday I had a crash out at the store because I was gonna buy some peanut butter. Went down to the store, and the peanut butter cost 58 kronor, which is about $6, and that is insane to me. How can a normal peanut butter about this size be about $6? And like, I did not buy some fancy organic peanut butter. No, I bought a normal old shitty peanut butter, and I almost crashed out. And I also had to buy some honey, and that was around $7. And I was crashing out in the store. I couldn't believe it. So yeah, if you're ever in my neck of the woods, you may see a Nora crashing out at the supermarket. I am the local tourist attraction here. But anyways, here are my rocks that I put up around this. I can't believe it. I used so much time on this. It was a hassle and a half, but I do like it. It's so ominous and mysterious. Look at them rocks and them plants. My golly me. I had the words. And I do think that I'm not going to have anything else around this tower for the landscaping, because I'm afraid that I'm going to overtake the tower, you know? I want the tower to be the main focus. So I don't think I'm going to put up anything else in this yard. But what we do have is a tree over there. One singular tree. Didn't put up anymore because I was kind of afraid that I was going to overtower the tower. If that is even possible. Don't think so. But anyways, that was the landscaping and the exterior. Gee, and that also means that we gotta begin on the inside. And what are we even gonna do for the inside? I don't know. And for the inside, we also do need a layout. And we got 8 floors to fill in with furniture, by the way. 8 floors. So my plan with this is that we're gonna start at the top and then just make our way down to the bottom, all right? I think that's a good old plan. So for this floor, our top floor, what are we gonna have? I think that we're gonna have an office, because all mysterious towers, they need an office. We also do gotta remember, it's gonna be a little bit grand, but also abandoned. So we're gonna have a desk with a good old chair, and then we also do need to find a rug. And what is a good old rug for this? Ooh, maybe this one? Yeah, I think that is a good rug. And then in the back there, we can have a table, put some knicky-knacks on. And what is a good table for that? I want it to be, you know, grand, but also kind of shabby. That is a kind of a problem, because we don't have that much grand, shabby things. But you know what? This will do. This will do. That is a good old table. And then for the size of the room, I think we need some bookcases for a tower. So what if we plop in 2 right there? Do the same on the other side. And then in the middle, we can squeeze in another table. And what table is that gonna be? Maybe this one? That can squeeze in there, can't it? Oh, yes, it can. That can squeeze. I'm gonna do that on the other side as well, and put in my good old knicky-knacks, because, woo, that's squeezed in. And then for the curtains for this office, what do we feel like for the curtains? It gotta be pretty tall for the tall windows. Or what about this one? The jazzy curtains in a mustard yellow. Oh, that is nice. I do like that. I do have to say. I do. And then maybe for this wall, we can also have some tarot card paintings, sort of like so. I think that is a vibe for a tower. And then we can also have a globe and some weird old stuff. And to pop it all off, what about a mysterious stain? Okay, you know what? I'm gonna make this place a lot more grimy and gross and abandoned in the end. But first of all, we're just gonna put in the furniture and all that, and then I'm gonna make it grimy, because making it grimy is a big old job. It truly is. But on to our next floor, and that is going to be the kitchen and dining. And I've already made a little whoop whoop whoop, because of the doorway right there. It inspired me to make a whoop whoop whoop, okay? But right, what are we going to do about the layout? Because that is the biggest question of all. Where is the kitchen and the dining going to be when you're going to make a kitchen dining room? You know? Alright, so what if we put the kitchen over here and try to make an L shape kitchen movement, and then we're going to end it up right there, and then we can plunk down our dining table right here. It's a little bit of a squeeze, but come on, this is a tower. It's always going to be a little bit of a squeeze. And normally I would push my table right there next to the wall, but since this is a grand old tower, they would have it in the middle, because that is what every grand kitchen would do. Grand kitchen? I don't know. And of course, to plunk it all off, we're gonna use a chandelier just right over the table. Whoa, we can finally use the chandelier, because in normal houses it is too big. But okay, back to the kitchen movement, and I think I'm gonna put up some backsplashes, because that is grand, isn't it? Oh, I like that one. I lighten up the mood. And I'm also gonna light up the mood even more with some kitchen knicky-knacks. next? I'm gonna make it sparse, because it is abandoned. Alright, and then in this corner, what can we have in this corner? For real, skis. Maybe we can have a table with a little tea set. Come on, squeeze on there, squeeze. Alright, I squeezed it in, and maybe we can also have an urn and some other random stuff on there. Sure, we could do that. Oh. Then we can also have a barrel. 2 barrels. I love me barrels. With also an antique nectar press. That makes sense, because of the nectar over there and the barrels. That makes sense. With also a hole in the floor. Hey ho, what a kitchen. Alright, and then in this room, that can be a bathroom. If we can squeeze a bathroom in here. Oh my gosh, the vine is sticking through. But I'm gonna fix that later. I promise you. Nora is, and Nora shall. And then in this room over here, what can that room be? Maybe that can be like a storage room, something. But what type of storage room? Ooh, a nectar storage room. That fits in. So we can have some nectar shelves over there. And then we can also have this one. What is that called? Skedaddle cleaning supply. Alright, we're gonna have that. Just skedaddling away. And you know what? We're gonna skedaddle on from this floor and down to the next floor. And for this floor, we are gonna put in the primary bedroom. For a primary man. What? Alright, and what bed would be good for this? It needs to be grand. It needs to be good. What about that one? That is kind of grand. Ooh, in green. Oh, that would be cool. I like that. And by the way, I actually have an update on my neighbor. And if you don't know the neighbor lore, then you can watch the I hate my neighbor, so I built him an apartment video. But spoiler alert, I hate my neighbor. Now, people who watch my streams already know this. But if you don't watch my streams, here is the update. For about 2 weeks now, I haven't heard a single sound from my neighbor. No hammering, no sawing, nothing. And I'm so happy about this, but I'm also kind of like, has he seen my video? Or is this just a huge coincidence? Because now I'm kind of like, I don't know what to say to that. But I'm also very, very proud of myself because, you know, this was kind of my New Year's resolution. And I've already finished my New Year's resolution in January. When I'm filming this, it is still January. So I'm a productive queen. I'm already done with my New Year's resolution. Hey, hody ho. You know, I'm really proud of myself. And that also goes to show people that instead of just talking to your neighbor, you should instead make a very passive-aggressive video online and the problem will be fixed. Anyways, back to the build. And we are gonna move down to this floor right here. And I think that this floor is gonna be the living room. A grand old living room. And what does every grand old tabor living room need? Oh, it needs a fireplace. And I'm gonna go with this one because it kind of matches the stony wall. And that is a grand old fireplace. Alright, now for the couches. What couches can we use today? What about these ones? In like a brown color. I like that movement. I surely do. I mean, they are not that shabby though. I wish they were a little bit more shabby. But again, I'm gonna make it a lot more shabby in the end. Alright, I'm gonna shab up the place like you wouldn't believe it. Oh, and then of course we also need a new chandelier in here. Boom! And then we can also put this statue in the corner. And she is called Priscilla. Oh, well, hello, Priscilla. And maybe we can also have some holes in the floor. So like so. Okay. That's wonderful. What more can we have? Oh, maybe we can have some... Oh, I fell down. Okay. Great. See, this is when the camera gets all laggy. Where am I going? But maybe we can have some paintings over here. And I think we're gonna use these ones. We can maybe make something funky. Sort of like so. That's kind of mysterious. With this piano painting in the middle. I don't know why. I don't know why they would have a piano painting, but it fit the size and the kind of the vibe. Great moments. And then over by this side, we can put in a table with some little knickknacks. And then we shall look at our kind of empty living room, which I'm gonna shab up later. Just you wait. But then for our next floor down here, that was gonna be some bedrooms, some guest bedrooms, and also a bathroom and an entryway. Ooh la la. Right, so let's begin with the bedrooms first of all. And we're gonna make these some sad old rooms. So we need some sad old beds. I mean, they're not that sad, but in the eyes of Nora, today they are sad, with also some sad old lanterns. And then also for these bedrooms, we need a dresser situation, and in here we gotta squeeze it in kinda. So I'm gonna put in this one, with also a rug, and a pile of books. Why not? The mysteries of time. And then in this bedroom, we can go for this dresser movement. We love that movement. What? And then also pair that up with a rug, and a hole in the floor. Wow! Look at our pots and pans in that corner. Oh no, it's not pots and pans, it's just pots. Not pots as in the disease, but pots as in garden pots. Move on, Nora. Just move on. We're gonna move on to the bathroom. And for the bathroom, it's gonna be a little bit more gloomy. Sis, come on. Look at this dungeon hole. We're gonna make it gloomy with some vampire bathroom stuff. Just sort of like so. And then for this entryway, what are we gonna have in this entryway? Some swords on the wall? Some creepy old books? This table? A coat rack? Lengthening stuff? Is that what people have in creepy old entryways? I don't know. But what I do know is that we're gonna move on to the next floor. And on this floor, what are we gonna have on this floor? Because that is on the ground floor and it leads to the basements downstairs. Are we gonna have another entryway? I mean, how many entryways can a tower have? Probably one at max. So what can we have in here? Something creepy, something ominous, something tower-like. Ooh, what about the memorial table? Right there. Oh, that is creepy. Now we can also plop Lady Mimsy on the wall with some armor stands for some reason. I mean, sure. That is kind of creepy, isn't it? Oh, and then by the doorway, we can have these statues of these women. Just so you can get a real entrance moment, you know? I would be scared if I walked in here. Oh, and then on the walls, we can have some paintings of the people who lived in this tower before. The mystery continues. Why are they gone? Maybe they moved. They probably moved. Or they died. I wonder what the mystery of this tower is going to be. Why is it abandoned? I don't have the answer for that. You guys in the comments needs to find out the mystery because, that is less work for me. And I'm also going to put this creepy old circle in the middle of the room because that is creepy. And then down to the basement, our first basement. What are we going to have down here? What would people have in the basements? What can we have in our basement? What if we have a planting moment? I mean, that would make much sense to have a planting moment in the basement, but do not ask those questions, all right? Do not ask them. And I think it would be kind of funny for the plants in the planter potters if you just have some sparse plants just hanging on for their life because this place is abandoned and for some reason these plants, they have survived and we don't know why. And then we can also have this forager table right over there with some more good old planting stuff. And what a planting basement that was, minus the grime that is gonna be in here. And then for our last basement, what is this one gonna be? What can be down here? Maybe it could be some sort of storage room. Just people need to store their stuff. Ooh. What if in this basement they store the canvases? Because they do have Stephanie in their bedroom, plus some more painting gear up here. So they do indeed are the painters and they need to store their canvases. Then we can also have some more storage over here with some stuff on that. Ooh, hold on. What if they use this basement to make their crystals? Or, well, they don't make the crystals, they make the jewelry out of the crystals. But I think that is what this basement is gonna be for. And then on this table, we can have some more crystal-y stuff. But not like that though. A lot better. Like so. And then, ooh, we can have a chair over there, and they can talk about their crystal business. Just businessing all around. We can also have some more canvases over here because this is not just a crystal room. This is a canvas storage room. They can have some canvases with also some more crystal-y posters just wrapping this wall. And isn't that a good old crystal making canvas storage room / basement with that man over there? And wow, that was all the creepy floors. And now, you know what I'm gonna do now? I'm gonna make this place just really grimy and gross and more messy and abandoned. And I will see you when I've done that. So that is gonna take some time, but it's gonna be a good old time. Maybe I'll listen to a podcast. No, I'm not gonna do that. But I am gonna put up my grime though, and I'm gonna see you when I've done that. Yeah. But alright, roll. I put up my grime on all of the floors. Look at that. Oh my gosh. We got all of the floors with the grime. Golly golly bee. It's Grime City. Grimes. Oh. Yeah. I've grimed it up. Looking good. But alright, you know what it's time for right now? Oh, it's time for a frickety frackety house tour. And I hope you're ready for that because, as we all know, or I know, is that when you put on the free cam in Sims and you go up to the 3rd floor, everything turns to shit. So I hope you got your motion sickness pills because this house tour is happening now. And for this house tour, we shall begin with the outside. It's a lovely old, tower. It's an eyesore on the neighborhood. Those poor people over there. But actually, they should not complain because look at that house. It's not any better than our tower. Oh no, it is not. But here you can also get a little look at our beautiful moat, our beautiful staircase, and our beautiful rock moment. Our beautiful hole in the ground. Oh yeah, our tower and our rocks. What more can I say? Let's step on inside this tower of ours. And today I'm gonna do it like so, because otherwise we're all gonna be seasick up in here. Okay, hope that's okay, because nothing is okay with this build. But anyways, here we have the ground floor with the creepy things. Creepy. Then if we go down here, we shall see our creepy old basement, the planting basement, and our crystal canvas storage basement. This is where the business happens. But if we skedaddle on up to our 2nd floor, we are met with 2 creepy old bedrooms, an entryway, and a bathroom. Wowee! And here we also have the living room. Ta-ta! And if you are disappointed with the lack of knickety knacks in this build, then just you remember that this was going to be abandoned, and also the camera was really annoying because when you get close to stuff, it pops you off. Anyways, up to our next floor. That was the bedroom with all of the creepy stuff and Lady Mimsy again on the wall. And here we have the sad old ensuite bathroom accompanying it all. Then up to our next floor. Which floor are we on now? I don't know. But in here we have the kitchen and dining with our barrels and our nectar making machine. What a beauty. And then we also have a sad old bathroom and a sad old storage room. Wow. And then up to our top floor, we have the office. And that was the office. This is where they do the office shenanigans. They're officing away. Well, okay. And that was indeed the whole house tour of this tower. And now it's time for the outro. And this is the outro. Welcome. If for some reason you wanna download this house, I don't know why, but if you wanna, you can. It is up on my gallery, and my gallery ID is JustNoraGaming. Bam bam. And if you also wanna see more of me, you also can. I have my second channel where I do stuff, and also have my Twitch channel where I also do stuff but live. And the links will be down below for that. And then don't forget to like, subscribe, because it really does help me out. So thank you. But only if you want to. Only if you want to. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.